Today I'm going to show you the funnel of an e-commerce brand that is on track to do $100 million in revenue within its first year of launch. Absolutely insane. And this brand here is called IM8. It's co-founded by David Beckham. And we're going to go through deep into the brand today. I'm going to explain from my perspective how I believe they've been able to scale so rapidly. But I'm also going to take you through their funnel from an ad perspective to the landing page perspective, break the landing page down, and also some other things as well. So this brand, they launched in December 2024. They're on track to do $100 million within the first year. Their parent company is Prenetics, which actually are trading on NASDAQ, and they are a leading health sciences company. So quick background on me, my name is Jordan Hayes. I've been running a marketing agency for the past 5 years. We help a lot of high growth D2C e-commerce brands scale, and we help them scale to 8 figures and even 9 figures in revenue. And the way that we do that is we do Facebook ads, we produce all the ads, we run the ads, and we've also done a lot of funnel optimization for these guys, and also email marketing as well, email and SMS retention marketing. You can go to our website and look at these customer testimonials. You can also read these case studies sharing how we help brands scale and what we did. And if you are interested in having us come in and help you scale your e-commerce brand, then you can come to our website. The link down below in the video description is going to take you to my calendar, and then you can actually book a time to talk with me. We'll chat about your business and see if we can actually help you scale. So that being said, let's go straight into the video itself. So we're going to start with the ad. We're going to watch the ad together, and then we're going to take you to the landing page, and also going to take you through the background of why I think this brand is doing so well. So just to give you some background on the product, it's based around longevity, right? So it's based around more energy, better cellular health, healthier gut, all these different areas which basically group together around the subject of longevity, right? Being able to live longer. Now, one big reason why I think this brand has been able to scale is because of the amount of trust that they've been able to put behind a brand. So you probably know the brand Athletic Greens, and I think this is also one of the reasons why they were able to scale to a 9-figure brand, was because they put so much emphasis on trust and a lot of influencers behind the brand. And a lot of people think influencer marketing is dead. I just think that a lot of brands are doing it the wrong way. And if you have the budget to invest in influencer marketing and you do it well, then it's really, really going to help you. And I think this brand here, IM8, has based a lot of their launch and scale strategy off of what AG1 has done over the years as well. So AG1, what they have is a lot of influencers behind the brand. Lewis Hamilton, Andrew Huberman, all these people, right? And what that does is it creates immediate trust. They also have all these certifications, and they're also backed by a lot of doctors as well. Okay, so there's a lot of trust in the product. IM8 is the same, right? It's not only founded by David Beckham, but world's #1 tennis player is using it. It's developed by experts from Mayo Clinic and NASA. And if we scroll down on the website, we can see that there's all these doctors behind it. All these doctors are backing it, which just gives you that stamp of approval, right? You don't even need to really explain what the product does. It already gives you a lot of trust, and it's like, okay, let me just understand a little bit more about the product. Let me see how much it costs, and then you're likely, going to make a decision whether you want to buy or not, okay? So we're going to see how all this trust comes through across their funnel. And I'm not saying this is the only way to scale. I just think if you want to scale a brand fast and you want to grow to multiple 8 figures and 9 figures, you should invest in influencer marketing. It's just going to help you so much. And if you do look at the brands like Hexclad, they're scaling so quickly. They're on track to maybe do $1 billion maybe next year. And Hexclad themselves are doing hundreds of millions of dollars every single year, but they have Gordon Ramsay as one of the key faces of that brand, right? So I think, again, if you do influencer marketing right, and if you raise money, put it into influencer marketing and really get them bought into the brand and carve out your space. Because you could say, like, launching a supplement brand nowadays, you're crazy, right? Because there's so much competition. But if you do it right, you can definitely carve out your own space. And as you've seen here, you can scale to $100 million in revenue within the first year. So let's watch the ad, and then we're going to go through the funnel step by step.
How's the aftertaste?
Zero aftertaste, which I don't think I've actually ever experienced for any type of supplement. You always have kind of that like chalky, gross taste, and this is smooth.
Okay, so this is actually a really, really simple ad, and it's likely for someone who's more product aware. The reason is because it's very short, it doesn't really give away a lot of information, but what I wanted to focus on here is that they're using Katie Hoff, like a world champion Olympian athlete, and she's just endorsing the product, right? But one of the key things here is that this is a whitelisting ad with the Unfiltered Waters podcast. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, it's Katie Hoff's podcast, right? So it makes sense. It's coming from her, not from IM8 Health. So it adds more trust. And then if we go to YouTube and we actually go to the Unfiltered Waters podcast, I just went to one of their latest videos, we can see here that during the episode, this episode right here.
If you have been short fused lately or
there's an endorsement for IM8, okay? So they've obviously got Katie Hoff on board, but when you have someone like this on board, again, this is influencer marketing done right. It's not like Katie Hoff's just posting on Instagram. She has a podcast. Okay, let's do product placement in the podcast. Let's run whitelisting ads. And you're going to see how they leverage this even further next. But we have a few brands doing podcast advertising. It works very, very well. Again, you need some sort of budget for this. If you are interested in podcast advertising, I can connect you with the agency that my clients are using. But you do need a budget for it. And when you do podcast advertising, you should be using it and leveraging it in other ways rather than just inserting products in podcasts. Do whitelisting ads, landing pages, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So from this ad, the landing page itself is this one. Okay, so the first thing you see is Katie Hoff, the same person that we saw in the whitelisting ad. Now, another way you can look at this is that you don't necessarily need someone who is a well-known influencer to recreate this funnel. What you can do is you can have some sort of creator, a micro-influencer, 10, 20K followers, just some sort of authority in the space that you're advertising in, and whitelist ads with them. And then the landing page is creator-led. Okay, so the hero section above the fold, and actually on mobile, this video comes first. But it creates this congruence, right? Because, okay, the ad got the curiosity to click. The landing page is going to do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to the selling. So if we just watch some of this video.
I love getting older because it means I'm wiser, but I have to put in intentional effort in order to maintain recovery and longevity. That's why I use IM8.
Okay, so we have the hook. This is like an ad, right? It's the hook, it's problem agitation, and the solution to that, and then it introduces the product as the solution.
Daily Ultimate Longevity, a product that is designed around the 12 hallmarks of aging. And instead of using unknown, hard-to-swallow capsules, IM8 uses 7.8 gram powder sachets. So you get real, clinically meaningful doses.
Okay, so this obviously goes on. It's 1 minute 26 long. We're not going to watch it, all of it. But what I wanted to show you is the congruence, right, between the ad and the landing page itself. And what it does is it increases the conversion rate because someone is like, okay, I saw Katie in the ad. Now I'm here, Katie's here, she's explaining the product to me. Everything just seems very, very natural as well. It's not really a hard sales pitch, it's just explaining what the product does and why she uses it, right? It's coming from that perspective. And I think that's important, right? It's not so much like, here's why you should use it, it's here's why I should use it and I'm the authority. So whether you want to use it is up to you, but the fact that, Olympic athletes use this, if you're into fitness and high performance, then you're likely going to be interested in purchasing as well. So aside from the video, they have Katie Hoff, 3x Olympic medalist and wellness advocate, and then they have a quote from her, which I'm assuming just basically takes the video and puts it into this text. It is quite a lot of text. I probably would go a little bit lighter on this and just A/B test it to see if we can get a higher click-through rate from the page to the offer page. But yeah, that being said, maybe some people don't want to watch the video and they'd rather read, okay? Then we have a link to Katie Hoff's Instagram, and the button, get my free welcome kit and optimize my health with IM8. So before we actually go, and I'll show you the offer page in just a moment, but I want to show you some other sections that are on this page. So immediate proof, immediate trust, immediate authority, okay? This is already immediate proof, trust, and authority, but even if you didn't have this, especially in health-related products, what you want to do is you want to back it up with quotes, testimonials, proof, okay? And they have all these doctors, these authorities that are basically just endorsing the product, okay? And it's a scientific advisory board brings together leading experts from NASA, Mayo Clinic, and top research institutions, okay? And this is just any objections or doubts, skepticism that the customer has, it's taking them and just squashing them, right? It's not squashing all of the objections and the skepticism, but it's getting over those initial barriers. So after we introduce the trust and authority, now we're in a position for customers to actually listen to what we have to say, right? Because if two people can say the same thing, one person could be this authority, this doctor, and another person is just a normal person. Who are you more likely to trust? You're more likely to trust the person with authority. And this is what happens with most brands, is that, another brand might try and spin up a copy of this product and even a copy of the landing page, but they don't have the actual trust, the authority that this brand has. That's going to be the difference, okay? They might do okay, they might do well, but they're going to suffer from high CPAs, they're going to suffer from a lower conversion rate, and those things make the difference, especially as you want to scale, okay? So the next section is more about education, because now we've established trust and reduced the barrier in the customer's mind. Now we can talk about the science, right? We can talk about education. Why is the product made? and what is the basis of which it's made from, and what are the benefits, right? So this breaks down 3 different things: the science of aging, right, and understanding the 12 hallmarks. This is really what the product is built on. It's built on the 12 biological processes that can be measured, tracked, and most importantly, targeted with the right interventions. Okay, so what this is doing is it's educating the audience, and then the product is the thing that actually delivers on what you just educated on, right? That's really the classic structure, and how you want to structure ads, but also your landing pages. Okay, why most supplements fail. So the truth about dosing and bioavailability, it's basically how, so us versus them. You do want to meet this head on and compare it to other products out there. The reason why is because your customers are going to be thinking about it anyway. So rather than just letting your customers go and browse around different websites and shop around, just meet it head on and say, this is why everyone else is bad and this is why we're good, right? In simple terms. And then longevity versus anti-aging. So this is their kind of approach to this, right? Anti-aging tries to reverse damage. Longevity is more preventative. Okay, so this is also, it's indoctrinating the audience as to how you have to be proactive rather than reactive. And this is why buying now and using this product for the rest of your life is, key, right? And that is what they're doing is that they're improving conversion rate, but they're also baking in some sort of retention into the offer itself. Okay, so the next section here is your body through the decades. And this is an interesting one because it shows how aging affects the body in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, and in your 60s. So depending on, the age range that you're in, and I'm assuming that, people that are most likely going to resonate with this ad with Katie Hoff are most likely in their 30s and 40s. But what they could test is getting even more specific with the page and only targeting people in their 30s with one landing page, and another page only targets people in their 40s. Because what you can do is, I'm not in my 30s yet, but if I was in my 30s, I would look at this and say, okay, this is cool, but maybe it's not built exactly for someone in their 30s, right? If it also appeals to people in 40s, 50s, 60s, how do I know this is going to be the perfect thing for me, right? If I see something else and it's like, this is for men in their 30s, right? And it's like, this is the perfect product for men in their 30s, I'm probably more likely to go with that one, okay? So just maybe like a small optimization here. And what comes next after that section is what to expect, okay? So wherever your product has some sort of transformation, you always want to have a what to expect timeline. And what you're doing is you're future pacing the customer to the result that they're likely to achieve with the product, but you're also setting the correct expectations, right? You're not saying that after 30 days, you're going to be a completely different person. It's like after 30 days, you're building your cellular foundation, okay? 60 days, you're activating your cellular protection, and 90 days is when the cellular renewal begins. So even, 90 days of taking the product is actually when you start to really get the real magic, the real benefits, okay? And a lot of things are happening here. The expectations, as I mentioned, is one big one. But again, you're baking in a retention mindset because customers like to buy things, they try it for a few weeks, it doesn't work, they bounce to the next thing. And what you want to do is you want to educate customers like, hey, this is not a quick fix. This works, but you need to take it for at least 90 days. And then it works best when you take it every day for years, okay? And they're baking in a lot of retention, a lot of lifetime value. And yes, maybe their customer acquisition cost is higher than other brands that are promising a quick outcome. But this brand's LTV is going to be much higher than that other brand, okay? And I think a lot of brands get this wrong. They try to lower their CPA and get the cheapest customer, but that is not necessarily the right customer. And what you want to do is you want to optimize for lifetime value just as much as you optimize for customer acquisition cost. Especially going into 2026, advertising costs are getting harder. It's getting harder to run ads on Meta with Andromeda updates. You have all these headwinds, from external forces. AI is making it easier for competitors to launch brands and launch hundreds of ads every week. There's all these different things. But the brands that are going to win out are the brands that have very, very strong economics, okay? So just a quick side note that LTV is becoming even more important than it ever has been, okay? So it's something that you want to focus on for sure. So then it goes back into even more of the science, and it actually goes very, very deep, which I think is good because if someone wants to read this stuff, it's there, right? But for most people, they're likely just going to gloss over it. But again, just knowing, and even if I'm not interested in this, I'm like, wow, these guys are really going into like the details of all these different things, and it sounds very scientific, and it's not things that I really understand, but I understand that, yeah, I trust these guys because they've gone deep into the science, and that's really the approach here. And AG1 actually takes a similar approach to breaking down the science to really just share that they know what they're doing and that is backed by science. Another brand that I really like, and actually a client that we worked with a few years ago, is MindLab Pro. And MindLab Pro also is positioned to be very scientific, right? And they go through all their ingredients in detail. And if you do want to get more detail on each ingredient, you can actually go to the ingredients page and go deep into each of the ingredients and understand why they use that ingredient, Why is it important? All that stuff. So I do think if you want to position yourself as an authority, you do need to have that detail, but only if customers want to read it, right? You're not putting it at the top of the page. It's further down, okay? Then we have the classic comparison table. Now, this comparison table is probably one of the most detailed ones I've ever seen, and it's a little bit overwhelming, if I'm honest. I would actually make this much, much simpler. If we look at Athletic Greens, their table is much more simple, right? And you could look at this both ways. You could look at the simplicity of like customers, it's easier to understand for the, standard customer. But again, if someone does want to go deeper into this and is really like super into biohacking and health and all these things, then this is definitely, valuable, right? And for me, being that type of consumer, I would like something more like this, right? Yes, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'll take the time to understand it, and it will help me make the right decision. So why iMate is a clear winner? It's basically just taking all of what they spoke about and condensing it into these simple 4 things that are very easy to consume. Then we finally get to the offer, okay? Now the offer is framed as the Beckham stack. So it's David Beckham's complete health optimization system, which, obviously adds a lot of authority. We have a quote from David Beckham below. And they have 3 options: Daily Ultimate Essentials, the Beckham stack, and Daily Ultimate Longevity. It's the classic quantity break offer, also known as a decoy offer, but they put the most expensive one in the middle. Usually the most expensive one goes on the end and they optimize towards the middle, so you create a magnetic middle. But yeah, interesting that these guys are going for the complete stack. This is the only one with a button, by the way. I don't know if this is intentional, but these ones don't have buttons for me to actually click on or, go to the page. So offer incredible value. So they actually stack the value of the monthly breakdown if you were to buy all these ingredients separately, which they know that their customer is probably going to, research some of these ingredients and see if they can get them separate for a cheaper cost. And what they've done here is they've broken down the math, which I think is good. Other brands that do this is MindLab Pro, I believe, also do this. And even Brian Johnson's Blueprint, his brand, a lot of his products, he breaks down like, okay, if you were to buy all these ingredients separately, it's going to cost you this much. And you can get it from us in one product, super convenient for this much, right? And you save $134 a month, 53% cost reduction. So again, just another way to position yourself against other products out there, okay? We have even more science, longevity benefits. They just list some of the benefits right here. And they talk a little bit about the flavor. 5-star reviews, 10,000 5-star reviews is adding more social proof from, common people who, it's not just high-performing athletes that are using this, it's also just the common people as well. You can actually go further and show faces of just normal people using this. What's inside, they're actually setting expectations around what you can expect. Future-proofing, creating some excitement. You're not just going to get the sachets, you're going to get the red cup. You're going to get a bonus sachets, you're going to get a David Beckham welcome booklet. So it's a stack of things, like a bundle of things that they're getting, which is, I guess, a good new customer offer as well, okay? How to enjoy, how to use. You always want to include some how-to section if it relates to your product and if you can actually do that. And just try and put it into 3 simple steps, because humans think in 3s. Anything more than that is like, wow, this is a lot of steps. But it's like water, put the sachet in, stir and enjoy, okay? That's it. And the easier you can create it, the customer starts to think, well, yeah, this can actually fit into my routine. So I don't have to give anything up. I don't sacrifice anything. It's low effort. And it's not something like, you don't have to do a bunch of exercise and, do all these things. It takes an hour to get the outcome, right? It's, 1 sachet per day and you're good, okay? Then towards the end of the page, we have a breakdown of the offer as well. We have all these individual things that you're getting for free. And the important thing is that you slash the pricing because you want to increase the perceived value. So they're saving $54 and it's $119 to buy it. Get your free iMate welcome kit now, 30-day money-back guarantee. They go a little bit into the guarantee itself. The 30-day feel younger guarantee, they name the guarantee, which I love. And they basically have that as a risk reversal and a promise. FAQs, and this is pretty much the page. So very, very comprehensive, which I think is important for a product like this. And if you actually click through to the product page itself to buy, it's, a lot of the sections below are just the same as what we saw. It's actually exactly the same, right? And I like it because if customers see different information, then they might confuse them. They might have to read through everything again. But the fact that it's the same as the landing page, it just makes it easier, right? And the customer can just focus on this top section here, which is basically which one do you want? You want to subscribe and save or the one time, okay? Very, very simple offer structure right here. And pre-selecting the subscription, of course, because you want to get more people into that, you save 20% and cancel the pause anytime. Like all the things that you would put in a subscribe and save offer, they're here, right? You have the savings, you have the per serving, which is very, very important. You want to break it down into a per serving or per day, per unit cost, because again, it takes the overall price and just breaks it down into smaller chunks that are a bit more manageable. So this is just one of the funnels that IM8 is using. I would encourage you to actually come to this page, funnel hack them, look at different ads, look at different funnels, landing pages, offer structures, and try to apply this to your own brand as well. There's a lot of interesting things that we went through today from an ad perspective, right, with whitelisting and using authorities and matching that to the landing page itself. So the first thing that someone sees is congruent to the ad. Very, very important and can actually really improve conversion rate. So I would test that for sure. That could be one thing you can test. Another thing is structure a page like this one, right? Use a lot of the same elements and the same structure to test it like this. Maybe test podcast advertising if that's something you're interested in. And then, of course, make the offer very simple, as we saw on this product page right here. And then as we saw on the product page, make the offer simple. If you can introduce a subscription offer, definitely do that because your LTV is going to really, really benefit. So yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you were looking for a partner to help you scale your e-commerce brand, someone who's done this before and they do this day in, day out, we have an expert team who can actually help you do this, okay? So if you go down below this video, the first link in the description is going to be one to my calendar. Go ahead, book a call. If you're on the fence, just book it anyway. It's free. It's 20 minutes of your time, and we'll actually do a due diligence to see if we can actually help. We don't take on all the brands we work with. We actually turn away more business than we take on because we're a small agency. We work with small clients. It's always been our model, and we'll stay that way. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next video.